Thomas's worldwide adventures.
Off to see the world. Ever since Thomas the Tank Engine first came to work on the Fat Controller's railway, he has met all sorts of engines, all of which with different shapes, different sizes, different colors, and some have even come from other countries. He has seen engines from Wales, Scotland, Ireland, France, America, Germany, Cuba, even India and Japan. And who could forget all the engines that competed in the Great Railway Show? After working with engines like Victor and Hero, it makes Thomas wonder sometimes what their old railways must be like, if they were any different to life on Sodor. One day, Thomas was doing his afternoon passenger run with Annie and Clarabelle. He was pulling into Farquhar Station, ready for the return journey, when Thomas saw two men holding a camera and a big book. He was curious. He bumped closer to the passengers and asked,
"Excuse me, I hope you don't mind me asking, but..."
Just then, his question was interrupted. "Are you Thomas?" asked the man with the camera. "Thomas the Tank Engine?"
Yes?
Came the refused reply. "Oh, it is an honor to meet you at last," said the man with the book. There was a sudden flash of light. Thomas just had his photograph taken. Now Thomas was even more curious.
Why are you excited to see me?
Asked Thomas kindly.
And why the picture?
"Oh, wait," gasped the man with the book. "We haven't even introduced ourselves, haven't we? My name is Andy, and this is Ian." Ian gave a small wave. "We're a pair of researchers," continued Andy. "Researchers who make educational books for libraries." "That's right," put in Ian. "We've already made books about the human body, Tudor history, prehistoric animals, and now we're making a book about famous railways from around the world."
Different railways?
Gasped Thomas.
Around the world? Wow.
"That's right," chuckled Andy. "Although we've only just started. We're currently jotting down notes for a page or two about Sodor Island. We've already been on the Wellsworth, Alsborough, and Little Western branch lines. We haven't been down your branch line yet, so if you'll be so kind."
Oh, sure thing. Hop on board, sirs.
Well, this is most interesting, isn't it?
said Annie.
Indeed.
Clarabelle agreed.
Pictures of our branch line in a geography book. How exciting!
Thomas also liked the idea of a geography book, but as he was carrying Annie and Ian down the line, an idea started to form. An idea he was scared to ask for. Ian had taken lots of photographs of the scenery from Annie's window, and Andy wrote down lots of notes at each station. By the time Thomas reached Knapford, the film in Ian's camera was almost full, and Andy had written 3 whole pages of notes. "That's a fine bit of work, that," said Ian proudly. "We have plenty of material now," added Andy. "Well, thanks for helping us, Thomas. Cheerio." And the two men began to walk off for home. But Thomas still had his crazy idea in his head. Despite how nervous he was to do so, he needed to ask now.
Wait, Andy,
He called out.
can I ask you something?
"Sure, Thomas." "What?" asked Ian. Thomas was about to ask, but then he paused and thought a little more.
Actually, I should ask the Fat Controller.
He said.
Could you ask him to come, please? He's in his office over there.
"Sure," said a concerned Andy. He walked over and knocked on his office door. The Fat Controller stepped out. "Sorry to bother you, sir," said Andy, "but Thomas has something he'd like to ask you." "Oh? What is it, Thomas?" Thomas was more worried to ask than ever now, because he knew for sure the Fat Controller wouldn't approve. But soon he managed to pluck up enough courage.
Well, sir, these two men are making a book about international railways and...
Yes. The Fat Controller had a hint of concern in his voice, which made Thomas gulp.
And I was wondering if if I could go with them around the world, sir.
There was a long silence. Annie, Clarabelle, Ian, Andy, and the Fat Controller couldn't believe what they had just heard. Thomas whispered to himself angrily.
Oh, I knew that was a stupid, crazy idea. I never should have. Around the world?
Exclaimed Annie.
But you can't. What about us? Your passengers? Your friends?
Asked Clarabelle. Quite, and this is not as easy as you may think it is, Thomas, added the Fat Controller sternly. First of all,
But, sir,
Thomas interrupted,
maybe I can help Ian and Andy. If there's anything they don't know about railways, I've had many years of experience after all.
yes, that is true, the Fat Controller thought. But what about your passengers? You're going to be away for many months.
You can always bring an engine in from the mainland to take my place, sir. No one will mind.
You're right, the Fat Controller pondered. But not everywhere in the world has railway lines. How are you going to go to each country if they have none?
Oh, I haven't thought about that.
Said Thomas sadly. Ian could see he was unhappy, so he thought of a solution for him. Actually, sir, he answered, there is a car dealership company in our hometown on the mainland. Andy and I will hire a flatbed lorry from there. Thomas will be chained tightly onto the flatbed the whole journey, and he will still get to see all the sights no engine has never seen before. Oh, I guess that could work, the Fat Controller thought. Another engine will look after Annie and Clarabelle. Thomas will be safe and secure with you and your lorry, and he can help you with your book whenever possible.
So, do you agree, sir?
Asked Thomas. At the moment, Thomas, I do, came the reply. Now then, if you can excuse me, I've got a lot of arrangements and preparations to make. He walked back into his office and telephoned the shipping company. Well, thank you for what you're doing for us, Thomas, said Andy. That's a very kind thing to do.
Oh, well, no problem, sir.
Please, just call me Andy. A few weeks later, the day finally came. The Fat Controller had arranged everything, from the substitute engine to the mainland ship for the journey ahead. Thomas, Andy, and Ian were at Vickerstown Station, waiting for the new engine to arrive, and all the engines had come to see him off.
We're really going to miss you, Thomas.
Sobbed Annie and Clarabelle together. The railway isn't going to be the same without you, said Percy, on the verge of tears.
Oh, don't cry, Percy.
Soothed Thomas.
I will come back someday. Besides, I'll be sure to write to you and the others every week, won't we?
He asked Ian and Andy. They both agreed. Then they all heard an unfamiliar whistle. And the new engine backed into the station, excited to see Thomas. She was a big tender engine with a long curved boiler and bright yellow paint.
Hello there.
Thomas introduced.
You must be the engine who is... Hiya!
The engine interrupted cheerfully.
Yes, I am. My name's Rebecca. Ooh, I can't wait to work on your branch line. We engines on the mainland have heard so many stories about you, Thomas.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, this big blue engine. I think it's called Gordon or something told one engine, and that engine told another, and then that engine told another engine, and that engine told another engine, and, well, here we are.
She chuckled cheerfully.
My word, Clarabelle, this engine is very lively.
Said Annie.
And very keen to make a good first impression.
Clarabelle agreed.
I'm sure she'll do just fine with us. I sure hope so.
Just before it was time for Thomas to leave, the Fat Controller gave him his last words for a while. Good luck out there, Thomas. Stay close to Ian and Andy. Stay safe. But most importantly, he paused with a serious expression that turned into a warm smile. Have the time of your life, Thomas chuckled. Soon, the station's clock struck the hour. Ian and Andy climbed into Thomas's coach, and Thomas whistled goodbye. As he slowly puffed away, all the other engines whistled and cheered for him. Thomas was very nervous, but also very excited as he rumbled over the Vickerstown Bridge and onto the mainland. His big worldwide adventure had begun.